apologize for coming so late, but I was stuck up in some meeting a little away from Delhi. And after so much request from the Anup, it doesn't look good that we don't come. So it's better to come late rather than miss audience like that and interaction, which you get and enjoy the interaction. So I thank the organizers, particularly Anup, to give me an opportunity to present my views. The last sentence which was spoken, that I am so visible, part of it, and the speaker who spoke from Juniper, that best security deception. I don't know how these things go together. If I am so visible, then I have no reason to be in the security area according to the presentation which he says it. Of course, he is right. What my friend has made a presentation, he made a very rich presentation. I can tell you that most of the attacks which he talks about it, which are happening in the country, which we are seeing it, is such deception attack, and the technique which is being deployed, largely which is based on the equipment which we import, is totally different there. Today we are in an era where the things are much different, both in terms of technology, process and technique. If you look at the entire history, we started a couple of years ago in 2004, 2005. I'm not going beyond before that. It was only hacking, and people used to post the information and name some hacker group or something like that. Thereafter it gave rise to we moved on the cyber crime and cyber frauds, and then the cyber espionage, and then now we are in the era of cyber warfare, which my friend talked about it. That is the era which we are moving now. Yeah. And no attacker is talking state or is revealing his identity. Hackers are much smarter, adversaries are much smarter. In fact, such type of attacks which my friend made a presentation, these are practically not an individual or a kind of a mature, these are all the handwork of a mature professionals who work very closely with the state. If they are not working without the blessing of the state, these are all the state-sponsored or state-blessed activities are there. The another activity which comes up is through the Tor server, which are hidden servers there. So sometimes you find that the activity is happening from a country A, and you see that this country is involved. Actually, it's not that. It may not be that country which is involved. It may be somewhere around you in the same country, but it is going and using the Tor facilities of somewhere else, and maybe hidden servers are being configured with respect to the IPs of somewhere else, and then you get into that activity. So we are in this era of a cyber warfare, and it really sometimes, when you sit alone and you remind that the whole thing looks like a 5,000 years ago or more than that in a Mahabharata, where you don't know who is on which side, who is doing what. That kind of a scenario which we have landed up, highly political, is all a momentary part of it. People come together, they attack on that, and we talk about the DDoS attack. That's a scenario which we have. You start, the people around the world, they come together, they have to launch DDoS attack, and they start with a few megabytes and they go up to 300 gigabytes per second. The DDoS attacks of 300 gigabits per second we have observed in this country also. Not that we are hearing from recent cases in France, but it's happening in this country also. So we are in a very, in a situation where we have to use information technology, we have to use cyber, there is no other way. But at the same time, we need to take steps how to protect ourselves, protect our infrastructure, and protect the information which contained in the infrastructure. Rest assured, if any service provider or the multinational companies which are operating in the country, if somebody says, no, we are not doing any activity, we are not part of that, or we had nothing to do with the Snowden or any such future activity, these are all myth. Any device which comes up I per se in my organization go with the assumption that the data is being taken and somebody else is monitoring the data. And I can say with a full commitment, with a full sincerity, that this is the practice. They are collecting data, they have the capability to analyze and figure it out what you are doing it, and they are maintaining the complete record. Complete record is maintaining. That's a different issue whether they are taking action, they are not taking action. And one more thing also, the data is being collected and data is also being sold. There is no way that they are keeping themselves. This whole thing has become an entire ecosystem, and this ecosystem is much bigger than the ecosystem which we have witnessed in the past. Create nothing. That's what the systems are there. So, I mean, it puts a bigger challenge and responsibility on all of us. How do you deal with this? And most important aspect is that the sharing of the information and sharing the incidents together. That's very, very important aspect, part of it. Of course, there are, this entire cyber security has created as I said, its own ecosystem. It's a force multiplier effect kind of a thing which has come up there. It has given rise to the a different kind of a legal framework. It has different kind of best practices. Every sector is involving its own best practices. It has given kind of a organization like CERT, a National Critical Protection Center, and all such organizations there. It has given rise to a new era of capacity development there, a new sector of the discipline of the awareness aspect there, and then new arrangement for the foreign collaboration or foreign cooperation or domestic or international cooperation there, and the new era of internet governance which has come up there. So whole issue is so dynamic that today what we see may not be applicable in after couple of months or maybe in a year there. We have seen how the interests are involved in the internet governance today. Nothing is confined to the region or in a country. Everything is global, and we are talking about global there. The whole paradox is that every country complains, everybody talks about the cooperation, everybody talks about the issues which we are discussing that. But when it comes to the cooperation among each other, everybody looks at only engagement, no worthwhile business happens there. Because of the heavy interest involved there. Heavy interest, and the Snowden has demonstrated what kind of a strategic interest he can serve to a country by this technology can serve that. That's what the Snowden has demonstrated, and it has given the countries are really seeing it. And I mean, instead of stopping it, my impression is that everyone will try to get into the system, how to get the information from here and there. That's negative aspect will come more rather than the positive aspect. Stopping and checking and preventing is possible only to some extent. Thereafter, it is very difficult to do that. Privacy is again an issue there. What do we mean by privacy in such a scenario? That itself is a subject there. The organizations or the companies which are promoting freedom of expression and privacy, they themselves are infringing the privacy and freedom of expression. So whole issue, when I say, look at Mahabharata and see how this work together, you find a lot of similarity. I find a lot of similarity and get confused what is going to happen. So friends, this is a challenge area. More and more we find the problems, more and more the states are getting little more conservative in sharing the information there. That's another fact over there. Today we have issues of the location of my friend talked about the IP address, it's a theory. There is an issue on locating the IP address. There is an issue of application of the jurisdiction. There is an issue of technology. The countries are not willing to share the technologies. We have heard even the algorithm, RSA algorithm which were being sold, that itself they are compromised. We cannot prevent all these things, as I said, we cannot prevent this. Rather, we should work in such a manner that we can minimize the damage as far as possible. That's the only thing I can say. At this point of time from this forum, of course, we are there. We'll be very happy to work with all of you at any point of a time. If there is anything which needs to be reported or needs to be handled in any manner, please let us know, and we all will be there. But this is a time when, as a nation, we need to sit down together and collectively think in which way we want to do that. We need to set up a good research and development. The country got recognition for the testing infrastructure. We don't have to say that everybody should be tested in the country, but the testing requirement comes up even after the equipment are installed on a regular basis. That's what my friend gave a presentation there. So there is a whole lot of requirements in the country. We have just started thinking. This is the time we think, we plan, and we move forward. There is enough business, enough system in the country where we can make use of it. Our whole employment can be used gainfully in this sector rather than in any other manner. So once again, I thank the organizer to give me an opportunity to share my views. I am not trying to scare or frighten the things, but this is something which has come before us, and we need to address this.